Hey everyone, welcome to Dave's Bonsai. Do I have to say anything? Oh my gosh, it is May the 6th and there's not a cloud in the sky, and we're going to be inching towards 70 today. There's an 80 in the forecast for next week. We finally can have our trees wake up in Minnesota. It's been a tough spring. It's been absolutely, really horrible for us bonsai enthusiasts. You know what? The easy part of this year was there was not a lot of bonsai shuffle because we just kept them inside, kept them in the cold frames for a very long time. I've got trees up on the workbench on that north side of the garage, which have been out for 2 weeks now, coming up on this weekend, a solid 2 weeks. In partial sun in the morning, afternoon shade. We're going to move them into a little bit more sunshine this weekend, just a little bit, and then we'll get them into their glory another week from now. I took out my first batch of plants from the plant room. So they're all up on the shaded area of the porch right now. We'll go take a look at that in just a moment. And then look at behind me. It is a sea of junipers. Yeah, the garden juniper, the procumbens nana. It is workshop time for the Minnesota Bonsai Society in May, and that is a week from this Saturday and Sunday. So tomorrow and then Sunday, all-day workshops, and here's all the procumbens nana that I picked up yesterday. I got 80 of these bad boys in my my Chrysler Town and Country. Whoo-hoo! But it is time for a different vehicle. That was stretching it, but we made it work, thanks to the folks that helped me put those trees in there over at my favorite nursery. So we've got all of these trees, but now I wasn't thinking straight, because the one thing I wanted to do today was I wanted to dig up one of my trees that could become a bonsai. So somewhere buried amongst all of this, where these strawberries used to be, this is going to be a bonsai bench this year, and we're moving the strawberries to the new bed. But down in here, I got to move these around because there's an old grapevine that's going to be ready to bloom, right? It's been all cut back, and we decided to just ixnay on the grapevine way, and we're going to dig that out of the ground today and put it in a pot and get that urban Yamadori started for a bonsai. Now, incidentally, I have taken a cutting from this very same Marquette grape we're going to dig up, and that's starting to bloom. We'll show you that too. So, first things first, I finally got the fish in the fish pond. May 5th, I started the pond yesterday, filtered some things through. The fish that were in the fish pond have been loving life all winter long. Well, I hope so, but they all survived. Now we need to move the fish from the basement into the fish pond. But hey, guess what? I already did that, but let's show you the footage. Let's go to that now, and I'll be back with hopefully this cleaned up a little bit. It took till yesterday, the 5th, Cinco de Mayo, to get the pond going. It's pretty late. So I got a couple of seconds of footage from yesterday as I got those first trickles of water coming down the riverway. First pond, upper pond, coming down to the lower pond. And now we have the ponds going. The goldfish, we just fed them for the first time today, and looks like they liked a fair amount of their food. Haven't eaten since last October, maybe September. But they're all doing good so far. They all survived. And I kept my 3 koi and my nicest goldfish in the fish tank downstairs through the winter months. Now it's time to reacclimate them to the pond. So with a little bit of pond water in this bucket from the downstairs, able to kind of get a consistent water temperature pretty close. And first we're going to get the gold, smaller one. And here we go. He's going to join his buddies. All right. Bigger space to swim. And now the beast. This guy's big. He might splash me. Here we go. This is like catching one on the line. Here we go. The beautiful white one. There we go. He's bigger than any other fish in the pond. And he's white, so he sticks out. So hopefully the cranes aren't flying over. Their path always seems to be a little north of our house, so I've not lost any fish to any crane. Let's knock on some bricks here, some rock, and hope we don't lose any fish. We got 2 more downstairs, and I'm also going to release the bass this year. Bass is getting a little bit too big for the fish tanks. Let's give him a nice cozy place to live where he can roam as well. Let's go get the other fish. The goldfish are relatively easy to catch because they're so big. The bass did not want to be caught. Here's the other koi. Beautiful orange. And then the goldfish. And this guy, I think, stressed himself out so much I can probably catch him in the bucket. So here's the bass. So the fish are all in their home. I will take a couple of the goldfish and put them into the upper pond because it's so crowded in this pond. And that pond up there is looking a little lonely without some fish. So as they settle from all my movement here, I will go ahead and let the water settle. We'll try to catch a few and put them in the upper pond. I was able to catch 4 from the lower pond. Pretty dark one there. Got a really pretty white one here. Another dark one. Super dark goldfish. Lovely. And then another dark one. Smaller one, cute. He's got lots of good shape to him. I mean, lots of good texture with his colors there. Look at that. And we have a 5th one in here. Another dark one. So we have 5 up and about 7, 8 down. Water's still a little murky. Only 1 day of filtration. A couple days, we'll be able to see them much cleaner. They can swim underneath the cabin cold frame. And they have some room to move. Upper pond's looking better. All the fish in the lower pond now are hunkering down low. I don't think they like the net. Yeah, so I spooked them enough. We'll have to look at them at a different time. So it is the initiation, the inauguration of spring. I usually like to get this pond going in March or April for sure, that first part of April. Let the water start filtering through. Not until May 5th this year. It's a pretty sad spring when I don't get this going until May. But we'll tweak things around the waterfalls. We'll see if the fish stay happy. We'll give them some food now here as the water warms up. Not as much. It's still a little bit chilly for a lot of heavy feeding. Very exciting to get the fish back into the pond. So all of them are in there. I hope that bass doesn't wreak too much havoc. But actually the bass is one of the smallest fish in there. I don't think he'll be trying to eat those goldfish anytime soon. All right, they're going to have to get their territories all situated. Keep an eye on that. Hey, so before I dig up the Marquette grape, let's go show the cutting of the Marquette grape right now. So I'm back by the fish pond to show you the Marquette grape. So this is a Marquette grape cutting from the big bush that we're going to dig out of the ground. And here's the new buds for the year. We got 1, 2 up top there, 3 over here, 3 or 4 over here. And so this is the grapevine. I don't know if I'll get any back budding this year on here, but most grapevines, when I cut them back down to like this stub every year, it gets all new growth every single year, a perennial plant that keeps coming back every year. So I may try for some back budding down the road, or keep it in some kind of literati style as it goes up this way. We'll see what the leaves do right now. They're pretty big leaves, the grape leaves, so as this matures, we'll try to make those leaves a little bit smaller. But there is the Marquette grape bonsai already potted up over here by the fish pond. Now we got to dig up the Yamadori version. I'm in what used to be the strawberry patch, and the Marquette grape is what we're working on today. We're trying to dig this up. But before I show you that, I still wanted to show you all the plants I took out of the plant room. So we got some PAs out of there, we got a cacti or 2 out there, and a couple other plants. So let's go up to the deck, and I'll show you real quickly the plants that I took out of the plant room. So we have the beautiful sunshine in the yard, and the fish are in the pond. And I wanted to come back and show you that, yes, indeed, I did take some trees out from the plant room and bring them out into my secondary shady spot. This is where we keep all the cushions when it rains out. There's no rain forecast until Sunday, so I've got another day to keep these here before we have to maybe take the cushions and put them back in the thing. Or I'll just put the cushions in the garage for a night or 2. So we've got some of our Portulacaria afras out here. We've got the Benjamina forest, loving life. We've got our Green Island ficus. Look at the new leaves growing on that after I pruned it just a few weeks ago. Yeah, we've got the goldfish plant. Wait till these bud for you this year, everybody. When I get these to bud next, I'll show you how they look like mini orange trees. And of course we have our cacti. Yeah, so we have the Thanksgiving cactus. Here's one of the cuttings from mine, another one of the cuttings, and there's the big one back there. Hopefully it's going to love life. No full sun yet for these guys. They're in this shaded area, but still pretty intense brightness compared to our artificial lights. So round one of the plants out of the plant room. So each year, the Marquette grapes seem to get weaker and weaker due to the Japanese beetle. The first year we had a whole bunch of grapes. The first winter, the rabbits cut it down to almost nothing, and then it took us a couple more years for us to get grapes again, because we would leave the grapevine about 4 feet tall, and then the branches that would come off this way would provide the fruit. It's just been tough. We're moving things around, so we're just going to take this out of the ground, and I have full permission from my wife to take what used to be our grape vine and try to make it into a bonsai. It's kind of sad because we were pumped for a couple of years and trying to make our own wine. We do have a bottle, by the way. We affectionately called it Damn Rabbit. It was a reserve, and we called it Damn Rabbit because of the rabbit that chewed off all the grapes the first year. We got enough to make one bottle of wine. We never did taste it, and it's probably really horrid right now. Maybe I'll show you an image of the bottle. Let's start digging. I don't know how deep this is going to go. I do have to be careful. There is some possible sprinkler stuff buried down below here. And that's the only thing that's down below here. Except for, we hope, a lot of good roots. That might be a big root right there from the grapevine. Here's another one, I think. So it appears that the roots in this tree are very big, unless these are old roots from former plants that were here. But I'm getting a couple of roots here now. I'm seeing a little bit more finer feeder roots. Okay. I have a lot more roots coming this way than I anticipated. Wow. That's a big old root. There we go. Look at that fun, crazy tree. Is that a big old root over rock in the making? Right there, huh? Got some worms in there. Not a ton of fine feeder roots. So we're going to chop off some of these bigger roots and find the box that this is going to fit in. I was hoping the tree would fit into this box, but that is not going to happen. We have some roots here that are definitely at a point where we probably can't keep them big. And there's nothing on the ends of them. So it could almost go in that one. See, this has some fine feeder roots. There's a little bit of feeder roots on here and over here and a couple up in here. But I can't get that in that box. So we have to go find a little bit wider box. See if I have one that's not too big and see if we can get that in there. I remembered I had an Anderson flat that I had my black spruce in from the bog last year, that I had in my cold frame, and here's the update. It didn't make it. Yeah, dry as a bone at cold frame. I don't know if the heater by it. It just, it did not make it. All the other black spruces from the bog are outside in pots, and they survived the winter, and they seem to be doing fine. So I should have left it outside in the winter. So here we go. Look at that. That's going to work. And we're going to tuck these branches, these roots that are alive in here, and we'll prune them later. I want some of those little bitty feeder roots to stay alive. Roots, as some people might call it, right? Like a roof, not a roof. Is it a roof or a roof? Some people were poking fun at me for the way we say roof or roots here in Minnesota. And now I have to think about it. Is it a root or a root? Root. We go up on the roof. Yeah. Keep poking fun at me. I love it. Okay, so here we go. We have an obviously slanting style tree. We have some pumice in here from that planting. And I'm going to go ahead and get some more soil, and we're just going to put this right in here and hope we have a good recovered tree ready to grow some interesting things this year. I'm excited about it. All right, let's get some soil. So I have a mixture here of 2 parts pumice, 1 part lava rock, 1 part akadama for this planting of the Marquette grape. A lot of people using that pumice for their Yamadoris for the healing year or years. And so I'm going with mostly that soil. Partially for that reason. Some moisture with the akadama, moisture with some of the lava rock. And there we go. Now, not caring about placement of this tree in regards to fronts and where it sits in the pot, it just sits real nicely this way. We'll get these roots so they will survive a couple years in the Anderson Flat. There we go. All right, I'm gonna get some water and something to tamp down the soil with, and we'll get this thing going. Got some starter fertilizer here. Something about this always comes to my mind after I put all the soil in. But with me tamping it down, we'll get some deep in there. So again, this is a Marquette grape, one of the many grapes produced by the University of Minnesota and their horticulture program over there. You know, they've created the Honeycrisp apple and many of the apples we all enjoy. And they've created 5. I think there's now it's either now a 5th or a 6th grape that's hardy to Minnesota temperatures. So they can grow here in our shortened growing season and make some wines. So a while back I used to work at Northern Vineyards, no longer in business. But they had 100% Minnesota grown grapes in their wines. And some pretty decent ones. You know, it's not California grapes, it's not French grapes, you know. People would also often come into the store and say, yeah, well, that's not a California wine. And they're right, because it wasn't a California wine. It was a Minnesota wine. And so some of the, I'll say it, wine snobs out there, you know, weren't too keen on some of the Minnesota grapes. So, but you know what? It takes years to develop, and the Minnesota grapes have been around for about 50, pushing 60 years now. So, you know, that's one of those things that takes time. You know, good wine, good spirits, sitting in those barrels for a long time, grapevines that have matured. This grapevine just couldn't mature where it was planted. Might not have gotten the best sun, not entirely sure, but those Japanese beetles really did a number on this guy. But we have a few roots intact. We have very small amount of feeder roots. We got some root fertilizer in there, some starter fertilizer. Let's give this some water and put it somewhere where it can be now in medium sun or direct sun, because guess what? There's no leaves on here. And there's not a lot of fine roots to be destroyed. We're not in high heat temperatures. We're not going to go below 40. So I think we're going to be fine to keep this thing in mostly sun and give it some TLC and just hope we get some new buds. Now this is one of those plants every year that I always think is dead, so it always looks really scraggly. And it's just like, never going to come, never going to come. Now, my little bonsai that I got from a cutting a couple of years ago, that's got buds already, but that's been taken care of by me. That was in a cold frame all winter. And this was just starting to maybe come to life before here. Now I dug it out of the ground. So there is a half gallon of water. We have water running out of the bottom of this Anderson flat a little bit, just starting to come through right now. So it's all dripping down this side. So there we have our little grapevine. So we've got this big old slant over here, and this is the main trunk that's been chopped a couple of times. We'll see what grows from it, and you know, we'll tweak it as time goes by, as we do with all our bonsai trees. And I just hope this guy stays alive. I hope the Marquette continues to struggle through life. And like I said, we'll wait patiently for the new growth to grow. We might not get any buds out of here, but there's some green tissue in there. We're gonna wait and see. Time will tell. All right, gosh, you know, that does it for another edition of the show. We got to get all these junipers back out of the yard, getting ready for the workshop in not even 2 weeks. A week from Saturday and Sunday. We got some more plants coming out today. We'll do that. The fish are in the pond. I think it's just time to enjoy some sunshine. Hey, take care of you. Take care of your bonsai, and we'll catch you all very, very soon, everybody.